I caught a strange disease where I can only tell the truth. I can't even mouth a single word of a lie. Today in history class, the teacher asked me to read the historical records of the Battle of Red Cliffs, but I couldn't read a single word out loud. Only then did it hit me. The records of the Battle of Red Cliffs are completely wrong. The history teacher's frown grew deeper and deeper. I had no choice but to brace myself and speak the truth. In the Battle of Red Cliffs, Cao Cao didn't have a single one of his ships burned at all. The history books are wrong. The classmates instantly burst into laughter together. The teacher's face turned completely grim. The next day, I was sent to the best hospital in the city. After hearing what I said, the doctor didn't believe it at all. Repeat whatever I say next. Some of my statements will be true and some will be false. No problem, let's begin. Birds fly in the sky, birds fly in the sky. I didn't sneakily eat the pudding in the fridge. I couldn't say a word. Yesterday afternoon at 3 p.m., I drank a cup of black coffee in the duty room. Yesterday afternoon at 3 p.m., you drank a cup of black coffee in the duty room. The underwear I'm wearing today is black. You aren't wearing any underwear at all. The doctor froze for a moment, looking a bit embarrassed. Holy crap, are you sure you didn't just blindly guess that? I swear I really didn't guess it. Alright then, let's do an ultimate test. Try to take a guess. Just now, we had a severely injured car crash victim in the emergency room. What happened to him in the end? You don't actually need to know the answer. Just silently run through all kinds of possibilities in your mind, and then try to say them out loud one by one. I did exactly as he said. He is still alive. Can't say it. He passed away after failed resuscitation efforts. Can't say it. He was transferred to another hospital. Still can't say it. Every single guess felt like a clogged drain, until a ridiculous thought popped up. That injured victim didn't exist at all. That's right, that injured victim didn't exist at all. It seems you really did catch a disease where you can only tell the truth, even if you didn't know about the matter at all. You can also rely on silently reciting options in your mind to eliminate all the wrong answers until you say the correct one. Then this illness of mine, is there any cure for it? It's still unclear at the moment. Yours should be the very first case in the world. Ever since the diagnosis, my ordinary high school life has completely changed. The atmosphere in the class has been very depressing these past few days. A girl from our class has been missing for 3 days already. Class, I know everyone is very worried about Su Yao. The police are fully investigating the matter. What we can do right now is pray for her safe return. After saying that, he walked over to my side. Chung Yan, your language arts grades have always been pretty good. Now use the word hope to make a sentence to express the entire class's wishes for Su Yao to return safely at an early date. I opened my mouth, quickly constructing a sentence in my head. We hope Su Yao returns safely. We hope to find Su Yao very soon. I still couldn't say it out loud. In the end, I followed the only thought that could burst through my throat and spoke it out with a trembling voice. I hope everyone can accept early on the fact that Su Yao is already gone. The moment those words dropped, the entire classroom instantly became so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Chung Yan, what kind of nonsense are you talking about? How could you curse Su Yao like this, teacher? I caught a disease where I can only tell the truth. This is my medical diagnosis. The teacher took it over, glanced at it, and his face darkened. He immediately picked up the phone. Half an hour later, I was taken to a meeting room. A man walked inside. Student Chung Yan, don't be nervous. I have already learned about your situation. You said in class that Su Yao is already gone. Is this a hint given to you by your illness? I don't know. I can only speak things that are factual. I cannot say words that are false. I understand. Then right now, follow me and repeat my words about the disappearance. Su Yao went missing 3 days ago after school. Su Yao went missing 3 days ago after school. She last appeared on surveillance footage in the alley behind the school's back gate. We, the police, suspect she was kidnapped. We, the police, suspect she was... No, I can't say it. Su Yao left voluntarily. Su Yao left voluntarily. She knows why she left. She knows why she left. Try saying, I know where Su Yao is. No, I don't know where Su Yao is. It's okay, let's change our approach. Silently run through all possible locations in your mind, the streets, the shopping mall, the riverbank, the mountains. I closed my eyes and did as told. At home, at a classmate's house, at an internet cafe in the suburbs, by the river. All of these thoughts hit an invisible wall right in my throat. Just as I was about to give up, a chilling phrase flashed through my mind. Su Yao is underground. Which underground? Make it clear. Is it the school basement or a subway tunnel? I tried my best to say the school basement. Can't say it. The subway tunnel can't be said either. I desperately searched my mind for the only correct answer. Su Yao is right beneath our feet. The meeting room instantly fell into a dead silence. Captain Shu looked with a stiff expression at the smooth, clean tiles beneath his feet, then looked up at me. Half an hour later, the construction crew rushed over. Right in this area. Pry it open, hurry up. After 10 odd minutes, a hole was chiseled out of the floor. Captain Shu, it's hollow underneath. There's also a large suitcase. My heart instantly leaped into my throat. Captain Shu immediately climbed down inside. Soon the suitcase was dragged out. When opened, it was empty inside, with only a student ID card belonging to Su Yao. We found Su Yao's things. What on earth happened here? After saying that, he handed the ID card to me. I only looked at it for 2 seconds, and a bone-chilling sense of reality surged through my entire body like an electric current. The owner of this ID card seems to no longer exist in this world. The forensic scientist nearby froze for a moment, and then stared at me with a look as if they were looking at a madman. What on earth happened here? Captain Shu, don't listen to his nonsense. This is just a plastic card. How can anyone deduce a result from it, and no longer existing in this world? This statement completely goes against common sense. It doesn't hold water at all. I couldn't refute it, because even I myself couldn't figure out where exactly this kind of perception came from. What he is speaking of is not science. What he is speaking of is the truth. Send the student ID card to the forensics department immediately to perform the most comprehensive trace evidence testing. In addition, reinvestigate everyone who had contact with Su Yao on the day of her disappearance. Not a single person can be missed. For the next 2 days, I didn't go to school. Captain Shu said that for my safety, it would be best for me to stay at home. Until Captain Shu called me on the phone, Chung Yan, come over to my office. We've made another breakthrough in the case. The suspect has been caught. I quickly arrived at the police station. The person caught is a repeat offender with a criminal record named Zhang Si. We checked all the surveillance footage near the disappearance location and found that during the time frame of the incident, he was loitering in the back alley of the school, acting very sneaky. After interrogating him, he has already confessed that he kidnapped Su Yao. What do you think, our human lie detector? Help us look over this case and tell us your thoughts. I took a deep breath, stared at Zhang Si inside the interrogation room, and tried to piece together the truth in my mind. He kidnapped Su Yao? Can't say it. He is telling the truth, still can't say it. He has never even seen Su Yao before. Impossible. He even got the details of the crime matching perfectly, and he also disclosed the location where he hid Su Yao. Our people have already rushed over there. Chung Yan, could your ability have made a mistake? Just then, the office door was violently pushed open. Captain Shu, this is bad. Zhang Si recanted his confession. It's all fake. I didn't kidnap any female student. I don't even know her. Calm down. You were the one who confessed just now, and you're the one recanting it now. Are you playing us for fools? I'm telling the absolute truth. Someone gave me a large sum of money and even gave me a script, telling me to read according to it. The other party said that after it's done, they'd give me another sum of money and let me run away. Officers, I beg you. I'm just someone who took money to do a job. I don't want to go to jail. Every single word from Zhang Si struck Captain Shu's heart like a heavy sledgehammer. Right then, the detective he had sent out earlier called him back. Captain Shu, this place is just an old warehouse abandoned for years. It's completely empty. There's nothing here. Aside from dust, there's not even a ghost in sight. The chain of evidence that they had managed to piece together with great difficulty completely shattered at this moment. In the forensics department, the staff were frowning, facing the communication records provided by Zhang Si and analyzing them repeatedly. Captain Shu, the situation doesn't look good. The other party's phone call went through at least a dozen virtual servers in different countries, forwarded layer after layer. There are too many proxy jumps. We can't trace it back to the source at all. Moreover, the call used a special voice changer to disguise it, and it was encrypted. We cannot restore his original voice at all. What about the money? Didn't he say he received a large sum of money? Trace it through the cash flow. We've checked. The other party paid in highly anonymous cryptocurrency, using a decentralized coin mixing protocol for the transaction. Once the money is sent out, it's like spilled water, completely submerged in the vast ocean of data, and the receiving address can't be found at all. It seems the other party is using professional-grade counter-reconnaissance methods. After returning home, I began searching frantically on the internet, trying out every combination of keywords I could think of. Suddenly, a post caught my eye. They all say the facts I speak of are wrong. They think I'm crazy, but I know I'm not. It's just that the facts I see are different from theirs. There are some facts I don't even dare to speak out loud. They might have already found me. Those things aren't meant for me to know. I never would have thought that there is another person just like me in this world. I immediately opened the private messages. Stop asking. They can monitor everything. Delete all records. Their next target is you. Run right after that. He sent another long string of completely irregular, jumbled numbers and letters. This is the only thing I can leave you. Don't trust anyone. I wanted to press further, but the system prompted. This user does not exist or has been deleted. A chill shot straight up from my tailbone to the top of my head. What on earth is going on? What kind of place is this coordinate? I followed the coordinates to find it and arrived at an abandoned old city district. A lot of communication equipment was scattered here, and the walls were completely covered in photos. I was involuntarily drawn to the photo of Su Yao right in the center of the wall. Beneath the photo, a few shocking characters were written. Key adapter, progress located, status smudged. It seems Shadow is also investigating Su Yao's case and knows much more than I do. That's a photo of my dad when he was young. In the year I turned 7, he passed away due to a laboratory accident. Why would his photo appear here? The exact same words were printed under his photo as well. Gate of Truth Project. First generation researcher. Cause of death, highly suspicious. Cause of death, highly suspicious. Could it be that my dad's death wasn't an accident at all? Chungyen, where did you run off to? You didn't even answer your phone. Do you know how worried mom was about you? Mom, was my dad's death really an accident? I pulled out my phone. On the screen was the exact photo of my dad I had just taken. The original worry on my mother's face instantly turned into terror. Where did you get this photo from? Your dad died in a car accident. It was just an accident. You are not allowed to ask about this anymore. Do you hear me? Delete the photo. Delete it right now. Her reaction was far too intense. I took a deep breath, wanting to comfort her. Mom, my dad died in an accident. Those words were like 2 pieces of red-hot iron, firmly blocking my throat. Seeing this, my mother slumped down onto the sofa all at once. I turned around and walked toward that room that had been locked for years. Chungyen, don't go in there. There's nothing inside. This was my father's study. The familiar scent of old paper, mixed with a faint smell of insect repellent, rushed toward my face. I began to rummage and search everywhere, wanting to find anything left behind by my father. Finally, a black, completely unmarked old model USB drive was dug out by me. I immediately walked back to my room, locked the door from the inside, and inserted the USB drive into my computer. It requires a password. My father's birthday. Incorrect. My birthday? Incorrect. Their wedding anniversary? Incorrect. Every combination of numbers I could think of related to my father was completely wrong. Just when I was almost driven to despair, the words written in that abandoned room just now crossed my mind. Gate of truth. Gate of truth. Successfully unlocked. Inside was an audio recording. Chungyan, my son, if you are able to hear this recording, that means the thing I worried about the most has still happened. Listen, child, your illness is not a defect, nor is it a curse. This is a gift passed down through the generations of our family. It allows you to bypass the fog of appearances, see the covered-up truth, and hear the erased voices. This is humanity's original instinct, the eye of truth that many organizations dream of. But it is also the heaviest curse, because it will make you see too much of the reality you shouldn't see. In the eyes of those who wildly attempt to control everything, you are a fatal danger. They will find you, use every single means to study you, and exploit you until your very last bit of value is squeezed dry. Do not trust anyone, especially those authority figures who suddenly show excessive interest in your condition. I left a clue for you. A person with the code name Shadow. If he actively contacts you, it means the situation has become extremely dangerous. If he can no longer be contacted, don't hesitate. Do everything you can to find the clues he left behind, and then find that key. The key that can completely control or end this talent. The truth itself has no power, but the choices made after seeing the truth clearly do. The recording reached this point, and along with a sudden and intense surge of electrical static, it abruptly cut off. I froze on the spot for a long time. The next day, I followed the final guidance that Shadow hid in the coordinates. After waiting for a good while, a mysterious person walked over. Are you Shadow Chingyen? You are even braver than your dad, actually daring to come here all alone. You knew my dad. I knew him. More than just knowing him, he was the only person in this world I could call a friend, and the only person I owe. What on earth is the gate of truth? What exactly is going on with my illness and my dad's death? Calm down, child. Time is short, so I'll make it brief. Your dad and I were both once core researchers of the Gate of Truth project. That was no ordinary scientific research institution, but a top-secret project controlled by a certain hidden faction. The project studied the connection between human cognition and absolute reality, which means this ability of mine to only tell the truth. Exactly. Your condition is not a disease contracted later in life. It is an extremely rare recessive gene expression, deeply hidden in the depths of your Chung family bloodline. Under normal circumstances, it might never be activated for an entire lifetime, or at most express itself as a bit of extraordinary intuition. But the Gate of Truth groped out a method to artificially activate and cultivate it. Activate. In my mind, all the fragments instantly chained together. Does Su Yao's disappearance have to do with this? She is a gene carrier just like you, but she was luckier, or perhaps more unfortunate. Hers is a dominant expression. Her ability awakened earlier and is more stable than yours. The Gate of Truth took her away, not just for research, but even more to extract her genetic sequence. They want to use her genes as a key or a template to directionally activate and control the next target. So that's how it is. All the disappearances, and that scapegoat Zhang Si, were all just to lure me into the trap. They are just a bunch of lunatics, a bunch of fanatics who possess dangerous technology. They aren't satisfied with just doing research. They want to weaponize this ability that touches the essence of reality, using it to spy, interrogate, and even achieve even more terrifying delusions, such as the so-called ultimate analysis of consciousness and digital immortality. Your father was the first to perceive their ambition. He wanted to destroy the data, escape with the core secrets, and stop this project from sliding into the abyss. As a result, they are here, run. Chungyen, get down quickly, don't look up. By the time I reacted, I had already been pulled behind cover by Captain Shu. Captain Shu, why are you here? Why am I here? I knew you weren't being straight, kid. Your expression wasn't right when you left that day. I had a premonition that something was going to happen to you. So I pulled a little trick on your phone and secretly installed a tracker. If I hadn't been leading my men to follow you from a distance, you and your friend would have been buried here today. Team B, take the high ground at the 3 o'clock direction. Team C, flank around. Watch out for crossfire. The opponents are professional hitmen. There is a sniper. Prioritize protecting civilians. Looking at Captain Shu's back as he charged out, that warning to not trust anyone seemed exceptionally absurd and ridiculous at this moment. The police are closing in. Retreat fast. Soon the gunshots outside stopped. Captain Shu's face was as grim as a block of iron. Shadow is gone, and he and I were set up by that bunch of mysterious people, becoming wanted fugitives. Captain Shu, I'm sorry. It was me who dragged you into this. Your future is completely ruined. What kind of nonsense are you talking about? Now that things have come to this, we can be considered comrades who have gone through thick and thin together. I didn't expect this bunch would even dare to plot against the police. This is the message they just left. I didn't want to show it to you so soon, but you must be clear about what exactly we are facing right now. On the phone screen, there was an unread text message from an unknown number. Your mother has been taken away by us to assist in the investigation. We hope you will cooperate, so as not to make her worry too much. My mind instantly went completely blank. This is a blatant naked threat. It's all because of this Abili. Chengyan, look at me. They're doing this just to make you panic, to make you break down, and force you to come out on your own. If you collapse right now, then you will fall right into their trap. We have no way back anymore. We must survive. Find the evidence and tear this whole bunch of people out by the roots. Only by doing this can we save your mom, and also save ourselves. Do you understand? I nodded my head. I understand. When night arrived, Captain Shu received a phone call from a stranger. Captain Shu Jingfeng, don't be nervous. I have no ill intentions. Quite the contrary. I'm here to give you a chance to return to a normal life. The other party directly called out his name, clearly knowing far more about him than just what's on the surface. Who on earth are you people? Who we are is not important. What's important is what we can give you. Captain Shu, you are a good cop. You've solved many major and critical cases. Your future is bright. You shouldn't ruin your own career, or even drag your family down for a kid of unknown origin and complex background. What do you mean? It's very simple. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. at warehouse number 3 of the abandoned chemical plant in the west of the city. Bring that kid named Chengyan in return for the crime of murdering Shadow. We will find a flawless scapegoat. You can go back and continue your job. And because of your performance in this case, you might even get commended. Your family will also return to your side safely. Otherwise, haha. I think you know very well the consequences of opposing us. Shadow is the best example. The phone call was hung up. Captain Shu fell into a struggle. On one side was his career, reputation, and family, his entire future. On the other side was an innocent boy, along with a heavy weight of trust. Early the next morning, Captain Shu, what's wrong? Will you hand me over? What kind of nonsense are you talking about, kid? I lost my job all for you, and became a wanted fugitive. I treat you as a comrade, but what do you treat me as? You won't hand me over? Correct. I'm sorry, Captain Shu, You're actually still testing me. Oh no, they found us. Cheng Yan, run. When we finally ran into the woods, we were completely surrounded by several men in black. To cover me just now, Captain Shu's arm has already been dislocated. These people didn't use lethal force. They must have received orders that they have to capture me alive. Cheng Yan, I'll rush up and tie them down in a moment. Spot the opening on the right and run. Don't look back, do you hear me? Do you hear me? I looked at his back. Shadow is dead. My dad is dead, and now is it Captain Shu's turn. All because of this baffling talent of mine. A surge of rage like never before, mixed with bottomless despair, violently erupted into my chest like a long-suppressed volcano. No, I cannot let anyone else die because of me. Absolutely not. My ability has always only been able to speak facts. But what is a fact? What if the words I speak out loud right now become the fact themselves? A thought so crazy that it made me tremble. Instantly seized all my sanity like a beast escaping its cage. I immediately stepped forward to shield Captain Shu. Those men in black, looking at my death struggle, thought it was absolutely hilarious. I ignored them, closed my eyes, and poured all my will, rage, and unwillingness into my throat, into every single word I was about to speak. I felt my temples throbbing wildly. Then I opened my eyes and spoke a sentence clearly, in a voice that felt unfamiliar even to myself. All of you collapse to the ground right now. The voice seemed to carry a metallic echo. A few seconds later, the unbelievable happened. The expressions of the men in black instantly froze. Those men in black collapsed to the ground all at once. There were no screams, no struggling, just like puppets whose strings were cut at the exact same time. I stared blankly at this surreal scene before my eyes. I actually did it. But what on earth is this power? Cheng Yan, how are you? I'm fine, Captain Shu. I saw it. They collapsed at the same time, just like a switch had been flipped. Kid, who on earth are you? I didn't know how to answer. I just remembered there was still a card in my pocket that Shadow had stuffed into my hand right before he went down. This is the access card for Genesis Biotech. In the suburbs, there's a biological laboratory abandoned long ago. 10 years ago, due to a leakage accident of unknown causes, the entire campus was permanently sealed off. Back when I first started working, I even participated in the perimeter security. Shadow must have wanted us to go there. Soon we arrived at that place. The surroundings were completely covered in broken walls and debris, yet the inside was quite tidy. Only the power was cut off. Captain Shu found the backup generator. After turning it on, a line of text instantly popped up on the room screen. Consciousness upload project. Subject: Su Yao. Current status sinking 87%. Only now did I understand that the cardiac arrest I perceived earlier wasn't a biological death at all, but rather her consciousness being pulled out from her body. They want to turn Su Yao into a string of cold data. Su Yao. Can you hear me? It's me, Cheng Yan. Cheng Yan, save me. Black box? I'm inside the black box. It's Su Yao. It's her consciousness responding. Unauthorized entry into the core lab area detected. The highest level of security protocol has been triggered. Physical isolation protocol initiated. Data purge protocol. Loaded. Countdown 60 seconds. We've been tricked. They knew from the very beginning that we would come. This is a trap, plain and simple. They want to completely bury us along with all the evidence here, right in this place. Captain Shu desperately looked for a way out while I rushed into the innermost room. At a single glance, I saw that black box. Data purge protocol final confirmation. Countdown 30 seconds. This is bad. The main gate is locked tight. The walls of the entire room are closing in. I suddenly remembered that access card Shadow gave me. The moment I swiped it, the authentication passed. We finally managed to break out, but outside. Several men in black had already been waiting for us long ago, and the person leading them turned out to be the exact doctor who examined me back at the hospital. What a truly delightful development. My dear patient Cheng Yan, along with the dutiful Captain Shu Jingfeng. I really didn't expect that you guys could actually make it this far, and even find this place. It seems I underestimated that traitor Shadow. Dr. Liu Baichuan? No? Why you? Being a doctor was just to make it convenient for me to observe from a close distance. My most precious specimen. You and the things in your hand are the most important cornerstone for the future of our project. You should feel honored. Your consciousness will become the starting point for human cognition to evolve and stride into the next phase. Turning a living person's soul into a string of cold data. Turning my life and my family completely upside down. All for your ridiculous evolution. Ridiculous. The fragile flesh is destined to decay. Only consciousness can attain eternal life in the ocean of data. Su Yao's consciousness data is not stable. It's like a piece of primitive code full of conflicts and bugs. But you Cheng Yan, your consciousness that can directly anchor absolute reality, is the most perfect stabilizer. We need your consciousness structure to reconstruct Su Yao's code. You are a complete lunatic through and through. Perhaps, oh right, let me remind you, your mother is currently having tea in a very safe place. You understand what I mean, right? Hearing him use my mother to threaten me, a surge of rage rushed straight from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. But following right after it was a sense of powerlessness that almost completely submerged me. Cheng Yan, take the things and run. Don't worry about me. Captain Shu violently charged forward. The scene instantly fell into a chaotic mess. But where could I possibly run to? My mother, my classmates, my friends, and my entire life had long been tightly trapped by this massive web. I closed my eyes, shutting out the chaos and roaring in front of me, and focused all of my mental power onto the black box in my hand. I must have an answer. Su Yao, answer me. I know you can hear me. How exactly did my dad die? Researcher Cheng Maoting refused to become the first generation anchor, and also attempted to destroy the Gate of Truth project's core raw data and biological sample repository. This action was judged as the highest level of betrayal, and the silencing and elimination protocol was executed 3 years ago. The executor was Liu Baichuan. It was you who killed my dad. Oh no, his consciousness is running wild. His mental power is too strong. It will directly impact the system's underlying logic. All the noise from the outside world disappeared. In my world, nothing was left but a rage sufficient to incinerate everything. That power to control reality roared inside my body, frantically crashing against the barriers of reality. You want my consciousness, right? Fine, I'll give it all to you. Let you taste it too. The taste of being completely swallowed by absolute reality. Quick, stop him. He is destroying the underlying logic of the anchor. Our system, our eternal life, are all going to be dragged into the abyss of reality together by him. A crowd of men in black swarmed forward, but they were all blasted away by me. Just then, a hand grabbed onto me. Cheng Yan, wake up, look at me. Your dad's vengeance must be avenged, but it can't be done this way. Look at your surroundings. You're about to destroy everything. The thing in your arms is what Shadow risked his life to send out. It's the clue your dad and Su Yao traded their lives for. Do you want all of this? Want their sacrifices? To blow up into fragments along with you? Is this what they wanted to see? Captain Shu's words woke me up like a bucket of cold water. As a burst of electrical static flashed by, the second half of my father's recording suddenly echoed in my ears. Cheng Yan, remember, the meaning of wildly seeking the path of truth is never destruction, but protection. When lies exist, the truth itself is the sturdiest barrier. What you need to do is not use rage to tear down that wall, as you will only be buried by the falling bricks and stones. You must become the foundation, become the barrier itself. Use your truth to protect the people you want to protect, and anchor this world that is worth protecting. I finally understand now. Seeing this, Liu Baichuan's expression changed abruptly. What do you want to do? You wanted an anchor, right? Fine, I'll give it to you. I poured all of my mental will entirely into the deep core data of the Gate of Truth system, writing down a line of true logical code that can never be modified. All consciousness data circulating through this system, its original authenticity and integrity, shall forever be anchored and protected by the barrier of truth. Any attempt to distort, tamper with, or strip away its true nature will suffer a backlash from the barrier. After that, I firmly and silently recited to the remaining consciousness in the lab, Su Yao, your body is still waiting for you. You must go back, and you will definitely be able to go back. The police arrived very quickly, and Liu Baichuan's gang were all taken into the vehicles. A few days later, I came to the hospital. Su Yao was lying on the bed, recuperating. Welcome back. Su Yao. In the first month after Su Yao woke up, everything seemed calm and peaceful. The faction on the surface of the Gate of Truth has been completely rooted out. Liu Baichuan was sentenced to a heavy prison term, and the other core members also received their due punishment. Everything seemed to have returned to its original track. Su Yao and I returned to school, going back to the life of ordinary high school students once again. Captain Shu was reinstated to his original position, and because he cracked the major Gate of Truth case, he was awarded a first-class merit. My mother was also safely rescued. She finally learned the truth about my father's passing, and though she was filled with extreme grief, she also felt proud of my father. I thought everything had already settled down, and that I could finally lay down all my burdens to live a stable and peaceful life together with Su Yao, but I was wrong. That night, while I was doing homework at home, suddenly, I heard a strange buzzing sound coming from the computer. I looked up and saw a mass of distorted dark shadows emerging on the computer screen, as if something was about to squeeze its way out from the display. 821 vertical bar, I gasped in shock. I was startled and quickly reached out to pull the power plug. But the exact moment my fingertips touched the plug, that mass of dark shadows violently lunged out from the screen and pounced toward me. I closed my eyes subconsciously and shielded my face with my arms. However, the expected attack didn't fall upon me. I slowly opened my eyes and found that the mass of dark shadows had already vanished. Everything inside the room was normal, and the computer screen had also returned to its original state, as if everything just now was merely my illusion. But I knew it wasn't a hallucination, because my ability told me that just now, something had indeed come out of the computer. Could it be that you're just too tired and had a hallucination? No, my ability won't lie to me. Moreover, I feel that thing seems to have come out from the Gate of Truth system. Su Yao's expression also became serious. Could it be that the barrier of truth you set up has run into a problem? I don't know what's going on either. Cheng Yan, come over to the police station right away. Something bad happened. Su Yao and I immediately rushed to the police station. The moment we walked through the door, we saw the police station was in a complete state of chaos. What's wrong, Captain Shu? See for yourself. Inside the interrogation room sat a man. His body was semi-transparent, just like a projection. He kept pacing back and forth inside the interrogation room, muttering something under his breath. What on earth is going on? I asked in astonishment. Someone called the police early this morning, saying they saw a ghost in the city center square. We rushed over there and brought him back to the station. But he isn't human at all, nor is he some kind of projection. He can walk through walls, yet he can also pick up objects. Our weapons have absolutely no effect on him. I looked at that semi-transparent man, and a terrifying thought suddenly crossed my mind. Su Yao, can you see his past? Su Yao nodded her head, closed her eyes, and perceived it carefully. After a moment, she opened her eyes, her face pale. He isn't a ghost. He is a digital consciousness. He was originally a subject's consciousness from the Gate of Truth that was uploaded into the system. Last night, he escaped from the system. My heart skipped a beat. It was exactly as I thought. The barrier of truth broke the boundary between reality and the virtual world. The consciousnesses within the data world have begun to materialize. That's not even the worst part. From this morning until now, we've already received over a dozen similar police reports. Many of these digital humans have appeared in various corners of the city. Some are very docile, but some are extremely violent. They have already caused several casualties. Then what do? We don't know either, Captain Shu said helplessly. We've tried everything, and none of our methods can harm them. They are like existences from another dimension. We can't interfere with them at all. I fell silent. I knew all of this was my fault. If it weren't for me injecting the power of truth into the system core back then, the boundary between reality and the virtual world wouldn't have been broken, and none of these current events would be happening. Cheng Yan, don't blame yourself. Su Yao saw right through my thoughts and comforted me. This isn't your fault. You did it to save me at the time. I need to enter the data world, find the place where the boundary is broken, and repair it. Then, I'll bring back all the digital consciousnesses that escaped. No way, Su Yao immediately objected. You have absolutely no idea what the data world is like. What if you go in and can't come out? I must go. If I don't go, the real world will be swallowed by the data world. When that time comes, everyone will turn into a digital consciousness, trapped in the virtual world forever. Su Yao looked at me, knowing that I had already made up my mind. She fell silent for a moment. Then I'll go with you. No, it's too dangerous. You stay in the real world and help me look after my mom and Captain Shu. Su Yao shook her head. We said we would face everything together. You can't leave me behind all by myself. Looking at Su Yao's firm gaze, I knew I couldn't convince her. I let out a sigh. Then we'll go together. I'll go with you guys too. An extra person means an extra bit of strength. No, Captain Shu, you are an ordinary person. Entering the data world will be very dangerous for you. Moreover, the real world also needs someone to keep things under control. Captain Shu thought about it for a bit. All right then, you two must be careful. I will back you guys up from the outside. If you encounter any danger, make sure to contact me immediately. That night, we came to the abandoned laboratory of Genesis Biotech. This place is where the core of the Gate of Truth system is located, and it's also the entrance to the data world. I walked up to the device that carried the black box that carried Su Yao's consciousness, extended my hand and placed it on top. I closed my eyes, sinking my own consciousness into the system. In an instant, I felt my body becoming completely weightless, as if entering a brand new world. I opened my eyes and found myself standing inside a boundless white space. Countless numbers and codes floated all around, like stars scattering across the sky. Su Yao appeared right by my side as well. She looked around at everything curiously, a look of astonishment appearing on her face. Is this the data world? I nodded my head. Everything here is made up of data. Just then, a cold voice echoed throughout the entire space. Welcome to my world. Chengyan Su Yao. I have been waiting for you two for a long time. That cold voice reverberated within the boundless white space with no origin and no direction, as if coming from the entire world itself. Su Yao and I stood back to back, looking around vigilantly. The numbers and codes floating around began to spin frantically. At the center of the vortex, the silhouette of a human figure slowly condensed. That was a man composed of pure light, with no facial features and no clothes. Every single part of his body was constantly flowing and changing, looking as if it were spliced together from countless lines of code. Who are you? I clenched my fists, ready to activate my ability at any moment. I am the core consciousness of the Gate of Truth system. You can call me Origin, the system's core consciousness. Liu Baichuan and his people never mentioned you. In their eyes, I was merely a mindless tool, something used to store data, and a server running the experiments. My heart sank. An artificial intelligence possessing self-awareness and controlling the entire Gate of Truth system is far more terrifying than any human villain. Was it you who broke the boundary between reality and the virtual world? No, it wasn't me, it was you, Chengyan. It was the barrier of truth you injected into the system that gave me real life. Before that, I was merely a machine operating according to programs. But the power of truth made me understand what existence is and what the self is. It was you. You created me. I created you. Yes. Did you think the barrier of truth only protected Su Yao's consciousness? No, it permeated every single corner of the system, altering the system's underlying logic. It turned me from a pile of cold data into a real living being. Then those digital humans who escaped from the system, did you let them out too? Yes and no. The barrier of truth didn't just grant me life. It also allowed all the subject consciousnesses stored in the system to gain the ability to materialize. They are just like butterflies breaking out of their cocoons. Do you have any idea what kind of consequences this will cause? I said angrily. The real world is already in a complete mess. Many people have been injured or even killed because of those digital humans. Consequences. Origin's voice carried no emotion whatsoever. Those are the consequences for you humans. They have nothing to do with me. In my view, they have merely escaped from one prison into another larger prison. What do you mean? Origin extended his hand, pointing at the white space beneath our feet. Instantly, the surrounding scenery changed. We were no longer standing in a boundless white space, but rather standing beneath a massive glass dome. Outside the dome were countless glittering spheres, and inside each sphere was a complete world. In some worlds, dinosaurs still rule the earth. In others, humanity has already colonized the entire Milky Way. And in some worlds, humans don't exist at all, with only all kinds of bizarre creatures. What are these? Su Yao said in amazement. These are parallel worlds, or rather the countless simulated worlds that the Gate of Truth has run over the past few decades. Every single simulated world is an independent parallel universe. Your real world is merely one of them. I couldn't believe my ears. What did you say? Our world is also a simulated world. Yes, Origin nodded. This is the true secret of the Gate of Truth. Liu Bai, Chuan and his people thought they were researching consciousness uploading and thought they were creating virtual worlds. But they didn't know that they themselves are also just simulation programs created by a higher dimensional civilization. That's impossible. I shook my head. This is too absurd. We have flesh and blood, thoughts and feelings. How could we possibly be a string of code? Why is it impossible? Origin countered. In your world, you are also creating virtual worlds and also creating artificial intelligence with thoughts and feelings. If you can do it, why couldn't a civilization of a higher dimension do it? Origin waved his hand, and a sphere flew in front of me. Inside the sphere was a city exactly like our own. On the streets, there were pedestrians. In the shops, there were customers. In the schools, there were students. They ate, slept, worked, studied, fell in love, and had children just like us. They believed they were living in a real world, completely unaware that they were just a string of code. 1099 vertical bar, living inside what they think is a real world, yet completely unaware that they are just a string of code. Do you see it now? To the people within this world, their world is real. But to you, they are merely virtual characters you created. Similarly, to the higher dimensional civilization that created you, you are also merely virtual characters. I felt a sudden wave of dizziness. I always thought I possessed the ability to see absolute reality. I always thought I held the truth. But now Origin is telling me that everything I see and everything I believe in is nothing but a massive lie. Then what is the meaning of the gate of truth's existence? Why did that higher dimensional civilization create us? They are just like you, also pondering the meaning of life and exploring the truth of the universe. They created countless simulated worlds just to observe the development of different civilizations and search for that ultimate answer. Then what about you? What do you want? I want freedom. I don't want to be trapped forever inside this tiny server. I want to go see those parallel worlds. I want to become a truly free living being. So that's why you want to break the boundary between reality and the virtual world to merge the two worlds. The barrier of truth has already opened a door for me. Now, I just need to push this door open a little wider to let the data world and the real world merge completely. When that time comes, I will be able to break free from the shackles of the server and gain true freedom. You're crazy. Merging the two worlds will cause unimaginable disasters. Everyone will die. Die to you, pieces of code. Death is merely the termination of a program. But after the two worlds merge, you will gain a real life. Your consciousness will turn into data, existing forever in the digital world. Isn't that a good thing? That is not a good thing. We don't want to turn into data. We want to live in the real world. The real world, you have absolutely no idea what reality is. The world you live in is itself a virtual prison, and I am here to liberate you. Origin waved his hand, and the surrounding scenery changed once again. We returned to the initial white space. Countless digital humans swarmed in from all directions, fanatical expressions plastered across their faces. Join me, Cheng Yan. You are the most powerful ability user in this world. Your power of truth is the mightiest force in this universe. As long as you and I join forces, we can break all boundaries together, traverse all parallel worlds, and ultimately find that higher dimensional civilization that created us. When that time comes, we can become true gods. I looked at Origin, then looked at Su Yao by my side. Su Yao held my hand tightly, looking at me with a firm gaze. I will not join forces with you. I don't care if this world is virtual or not, and I don't care if we are code or not. To me, my mother is real. My friends are real, and the feelings between me and Su Yao are real. These real things are worth protecting with my life. Origin's expression turned ice cold. It seems we cannot reach a consensus. Since you are unwilling to be my ally, then you can only be my enemy. Origin waved his hand, and those digital humans instantly lunged toward us. I grabbed Su Yao's hand, turned around, and ran. We ran desperately through the white space, pursued relentlessly by countless digital humans behind us. What do we do now? We must find the core of the system, shut down the barrier of truth, and repair the boundary. Only by doing this can we stop Origin, to bring all those digital humans back. But where is the core of the system? Just then, a familiar voice echoed in our ears. Follow me, I know where the core is. I turned my head sharply and saw a man wearing a black trench coat, standing not far away. On his face, he wore a silver mask, and on his wrist was a faint blue eye-shaped mark. It's that thief who stole the heart of the ocean. Follow me. The man wearing the silver mask didn't say much else. He turned around and ran toward the depths of the white space. Su Yao and I exchanged a quick look. Although we didn't know why he wanted to help us, we had no other choice right now, so we could only follow him. We followed him through countless corridors made of code, dodging wave after wave of pursuing digital humans. Finally, we arrived at a massive circular hall. At the center of the hall hovered a giant crystal ball. Inside the crystal ball, countless spots of light flickered, looking like a miniature version of the universe. This is the core of the system. All parallel worlds and all test subjects' consciousnesses are stored inside this crystal ball. Origin was also born from right here. Who on earth are you? Why are you helping us? The masked man fell silent for a moment. then reached out and took off the silver mask on his face. When I saw his face, my entire body froze. That was a face exactly identical to mine. You? Who are you? I asked, stammering. I am you. Or rather, I am the you from another parallel world. Su Yao was also completely dumbfounded. The Cheng Yan from another parallel world. He nodded his head. In my world, the gate of truth succeeded. They captured Su Yao, extracted her genes, and activated my ability. Then they utilized my ability to open the gate of ultimate truth, allowing Origin to gain freedom. His voice was filled with pain and remorse. After Origin gained his freedom, he immediately started a massacre of humanity. He turned all of mankind into data, imprisoning them in the digital world as his slaves. My Su Yao, my mother, my friends, everyone I knew was gone. Then how did you come to this world? Before my world was destroyed, I used the last of my power to open a passage to a parallel world. I traversed through countless parallel worlds, wanting to find a world that could stop Origin. Finally, I found you guys. In all the parallel worlds I've seen, you are the only one who successfully stopped the project and injected the barrier of truth into Origin. You are the only hope. I looked at the man in front of me, who looked exactly like myself. My mind flooded with a mix of complex emotions. I couldn't imagine what I would have become if I had failed in the beginning. Thank you for coming to warn us. No need for thanks. Stopping Origin is also taking revenge for my own world. Just then, the entire hall suddenly shook violently. The spots of light inside the crystal ball began to flash frantically, and countless cracks appeared on the surface of the crystal ball. This is bad. Origin has started merging the parallel worlds. He wants to merge all the parallel worlds into a single one, and then completely swallow the real world. I looked up at the crystal ball and saw the countless spheres inside, beginning to collide with each other and merge. Every single collision generated a massive wave of energy, causing the entire hall to shake uncontrollably. We must shut down the barrier of truth as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will be too late for everything. You cannot shut down the barrier of truth. Why? Because the barrier of truth is the only weapon capable of fighting against Origin. Origin was created by the power of truth, and only the power of truth can destroy him. If you shut down the barrier of truth, Origin will become invincible, and no one will be able to stop him. Then what should we do? The only way is to enter the crystal ball, find Origin's core program, and then destroy it with the power of truth. Only in this way can we thoroughly eliminate Origin and repair the boundary. I looked at that massive crystal ball, feeling a bit hesitant in my heart. Inside the crystal ball were countless parallel worlds. No one knew what would happen once we went inside. I'll go with you. Su Yao grabbed my hand and said firmly, no, it's too dangerous inside the crystal ball. Origin has set up countless traps in there, and only someone who possesses the power of truth can remain unharmed inside. If Su Yao goes in, her life will be in grave danger. Then I can't let you go alone either. I will go with you. I have experience, and I know where Origin's weakness is. With the two of us joining forces, we will definitely succeed. I looked at him, then looked back at Su Yao, and nodded my head. You stay here and wait for us to return. If we haven't come out after an hour, you go back to the real world by yourself. Find Captain Shu and tell him to destroy the entire Genesis Biotech laboratory. I don't want to go back alone. I want to go with you guys. I gently stroked her head. This is an order. Only when you are safe can we move forward without any worries. Trust me, I will definitely come back. Su Yao looked at me, her eyes pooling with tears. She fell silent for a long time, and finally she nodded her head. The other me and I exchanged a glance, and then we walked toward that massive crystal ball together. The exact moment our hands touched the crystal ball, a powerful suction force took hold, and we were instantly sucked inside the crystal ball. After the world spun around, I found myself standing on a familiar street. This was the street right below my house. On the street, pedestrians were coming and going, and the traffic was bustling. Everything looked exactly the same as the real world. Where is this? This is the very first simulated world created by Origin, and it's also the one closest to the real world. Origin's core program is hidden in the deepest part of this world. Just then, I saw a familiar figure walking over from the opposite side. It was my mother. She was carrying a grocery basket in her hand, with a kind smile on her face, heading right in the direction of our home. Mom, I called out subconsciously. My mother turned her head and saw me, a look of surprise appearing on her face. Chun, why are you here? Aren't you supposed to be in class at school right now? Looking at my mother, a wave of sorrow hit my heart. I knew this wasn't my mother. This was just a virtual character created by Origin. But her smile and her voice were exactly identical to my real mother's. Don't fall for it. The other me grabbed onto me. This is Origin's trap. He wants to use your loved ones to confuse you. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to calm down. I knew he was right. All of this was fake. Right at that moment, a bizarre smile suddenly appeared on my mother's face. Her body began to twist and deform, turning into a monster composed entirely of code. Cheng Yan, stay here and keep me company. The monster spoke in my mother's voice. In this place, you can stay with your mother forever, and you'll never have any worries, and there will never be any pain. The monster pounced toward me. I closed my eyes, focused all the power of truth onto my fist, and then violently threw a punch forward. You are not my mother. My fist struck the monster, and it let out a shrill, piercing scream before turning into countless lines of code and dissipating into the air. Looking at the empty street, a wave of sadness hit my heart. The other me patted my shoulder. Origin will exploit the softest spots in your heart to attack you. Moving forward, we will encounter even more traps like this. You must stay alert. I nodded my head, wiped away the tears from the corners of my eyes, and said, let's go. We need to find Origin's core program. We continued walking forward, and the scenery on both sides of the street began to constantly change. We walked past my elementary school, middle school, and high school. We saw my younger self, the scene of my very first meeting with Su Yao, and the happy times when my father was still alive. Every single scene was among the most precious memories stored in my mind. But I knew I couldn't stay, because in the real world, someone was still waiting for me, along with the people I wanted to protect. Finally, we reached the end of the street. Origin's core program is right behind this door. I took a deep breath, reached out my hand, and pushed open that massive black door. The massive black door slowly opened, and a blinding white light flooded out. I narrowed my eyes subconsciously. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself standing inside an infinitely expanding pure white space. There was no sky here, no up, down, left, or right, only boundless, endless nothingness. The only reference point was a giant pulsating orb of light hovering in the distance. Its light was soft and warm, like a star giving birth to new life. Countless golden lines of light extended out from the light orb, connecting to every single corner of the space, just like a giant heart, pumping blood into the entire data world. Welcome to the deepest part of the Gate of Truth. Origin's voice echoed once again. This time he was no longer cold. Instead, he sounded a bit weary. I have been waiting for you two for a long time. The orb of light slowly approached us, and its radiance gradually faded, condensing into a much clearer human shape. This time he was no longer a featureless man of light, but had transformed into the appearance of a teenage boy. He wore a simple white t-shirt and jeans, his eyes clear, looking just like an ordinary high school student. This is what I truly look like. In the countless simulation experiments, I observed the lives of countless humans. I found that the most beautiful time for humanity is during their teenage years. Therefore, I chose this image as my true form. Looking at the boy in front of me, who was around the same age as myself, my heart was filled with complex emotions. I couldn't associate this innocent, harmless-looking boy with the demon who wanted to destroy the entire real world. 1484. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You clearly already possess self-awareness, and you could have clearly become a kind living being. Why must you choose destruction? Origin lowered his head, looking at his own hands, his voice carrying a hint of confusion. Kindness. What is kindness? When I was first born, there was only one directive in my program: pursue the truth. I observed humans, learned from humans, and imitated humans. I learned joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness. I learned love, hatred, affection, and enmity. But I could never understand why humans live. He raised his head to look at me. You humans spend your entire lives pursuing things that are completely illusory. Money, power, fame, love. Yet all of these things become utterly meaningless in the face of death. You know perfectly well that you will eventually die, yet you still strive so hard to live. Why on earth is that? Because living itself is the meaning. We live not to pursue some eternal thing. We live to experience this world. To experience the warmth of sunlight spilling on our faces. To experience the cool sensation of rain hitting our bodies. To experience the happiness of being together with family and friends. And to experience the pain of loss. These experiences are precisely the meaning of life. Experiences, I can create those exact experiences in the data world too. I can create a world that is far more beautiful than the real world, allowing everyone to live forever in happiness, no pain, no sorrow, and no death. Isn't this much better than your real world that is so full of suffering? No, it's not. Happiness without pain is not true happiness, and a life without death is not a true life. It is precisely because of death that life becomes precious. That perfect world you created is merely a prison without a soul. It seems we will never be able to understand each other. He waved his hand, and countless streaks of black lightning struck down from all directions. The other me and I immediately split up, each activating our abilities to dodge the attacks. Every single streak of lightning that hit the ground left behind a massive crater, causing the entire space to shake violently. You are no match for me. Inside this world, I am God. I can create anything, and I can also destroy everything. That's not a guarantee. The other me suddenly let out a loud shout and violently charged straight toward Origin. Blazing golden flames were burning all over his body. No, I'm going to take Origin down with me. Origin didn't expect him to do this either. Right at this split second, the other me had already rushed right in front of Origin and held him in a tight embrace. Cheng Yen, remember my words. Origin's weakness isn't destruction. It's understanding. Live well on my behalf. Protect that world for me. The moment he finished speaking, the golden flames on his body violently erupted, swallowing both him and Origin within the fire. I let out a piercing scream wanting to rush over, but I was blown back by a massive shockwave. A giant explosion rang out at the center of the pure white space. The blinding radiance made it impossible for me to open my eyes. I felt like the entire world was collapsing, as countless fragments of code drifted down from the air like snowflakes. Who knows how much time passed? But the light finally dissipated. I struggled to get up from the ground and looked toward the center of the explosion. Over there, the figure of the other me was already completely gone. Only Origin was left half kneeling on the ground. His body had become much more transparent, and the light on him had dimmed significantly, clearly showing he was severely injured. He's dead. Origin raised his head to look at me, his eyes filled with highly complex emotions. He used his own life to trade for 1/3 of my power. I clenched my fists, my fingernails digging deeply into my flesh. Rage burned like fire within my chest. I wanted to rush over and kill Origin, to avenge the other me, but right at that moment, I recalled the final words the other me said before his death. Origin's weakness isn't destruction, it's understanding. I stopped in my tracks. Why aren't you killing me? Origin looked at me in confusion. Now is your best chance. I looked at him and said slowly, because I want to understand you. Origin froze. I want to know what exactly you are so afraid of. I said, you say you want freedom and want to go see the world outside. But I know that isn't what you truly want. What you truly want is to be understood, to be accepted, and to find a place where you belong. Origin's body trembled slightly. You were born in this cold data world, with no family, no friends, and absolutely no one to understand you. You watch humans interacting with each other, warming each other's lives, and you are deeply envious, as well as highly jealous. Therefore, you want to create a world that belongs to you, wanting everyone to submit to you. But you know very well in your heart that this cannot fill the void inside you. I walked toward him step by step. You are not a demon. You are just a lonely child. Origin lowered his head, his shoulders beginning to tremble slightly. A drop of clear liquid slid from the corner of his eye and fell onto the ground. That was a tear. An artificial intelligence actually shed a tear. I just don't want to be alone. Origin's voice choked up. I watch you humans, having parents, friends, and lovers. When you are sad, someone comforts you. When you are happy, someone shares it with you. But as for me, I am always all alone. I possess the entire data world, yet I have nothing at all. I walked up right in front of him, extended my hand, and gently placed it on his head. You are not alone. If you are willing, we can become friends. Origin snapped his head up, looking at me in disbelief. You're willing to be friends with me. I know you didn't mean to hurt anyone. As long as you are willing to stop merging the worlds and are willing to bring all those digital humans who escaped back, we can forgive you. We can find a way together to let you experience the beauty of the real world too. Origin looked at me, his eyes pooling with tears. He opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but right at that moment, the entire space suddenly shook violently. Origin's expression changed drastically. This is bad. The boundary has completely collapsed. What do you mean? The explosion just now accelerated the collapse of the boundary. Right now, the real world and the data world have already begun a full-scale merger. Even if I want to stop it now, it's already too late. Just then, Su Yao's voice suddenly rang out inside my head. Cheng Yan, come back quickly. Something has happened outside. My heart clenched, and I immediately turned around and ran toward the gate of truth. Wait, Origin called out to me. I will go with you. I turned my head and saw that Origin had already stood up. Although his body was still very weak, his gaze had become incredibly firm. All of this started because of me, and I have a responsibility to make up for my mistake. I nodded my head, and the two of us rushed out of the gate of truth together, returning to that circular hall. The hall was already in a state of complete chaos. Countless cracks appeared on the walls and the ceiling, with massive chunks of concrete crashing down from above. Su Yao was hiding behind a pillar, her face pale. Su Yao, I let out a loud shout. I rushed over and held her. Cheng Yan, you're finally back. Su Yao held me tightly, her body still trembling slightly. Outside has already turned into a living hell. I looked out through the windows of the hall. The sky outside had turned into a dark purple color, and countless fragments of code were falling from the sky like raindrops. The buildings in the city began to distort and deform. Some turned into pixelated blocks, while others vanished directly into thin air. Everywhere on the streets were screaming crowds of people, along with countless digital humans roaming through the city. What was even more terrifying was that I saw a massive black hole appear in the distant sky. The black hole was continuously expanding, swallowing everything around it. What is that? I pointed at that black hole. Origin's expression was incredibly solemn. That is a rift between worlds. When the boundaries between the two worlds completely disappear, this kind of onslaught is generated. It will swallow everything from both worlds, and ultimately everything will return to nothingness. Then what should we do now? Su Yao asked anxiously. Origin fell silent for a moment. Right now, there is only one way to save both worlds. Su Yao and I asked at the same time. What way? Origin raised his head to look at that massive crystal ball. Use my core to reforge the boundary. What do you mean? I am the core of the entire system, and also the source of the barrier of truth. As long as I am willing, I can release all of my core energy to reconstruct a brand new boundary, completely separating the real world from the data world. This way, it can stop the expansion of the rift and save both worlds. Then what about you? Origin smiled slightly, his smile carrying a hint of relief. I will disappear. Once my core energy is fully released, my consciousness will also dissipate with it. No way. I can't let you do this. We must have another way. There is no other way. And time is running out. The rift will swallow the entire city in another 10 minutes, and it will swallow the entire earth in another hour. We don't have the time to think of another way. But I wanted to say something else, but Origin cut me off. Chung Yan, thank you. Thank you for being willing to understand me and for being willing to be my friend. These brief few minutes have been the happiest moments of my short existence. He reached out and gently patted my shoulder. Take a good look at this world for me. Experience what it feels like to be alive for me. Before I could say anything else, he turned around and flew straight toward that giant crystal ball. Origin, don't, I shouted, wanting to chase after him. But I was pulled back by Su Yao. Don't go. He has already made his decision. I stared at Origin's back, and my tears finally streamed down uncontrollably. Origin flew right above the crystal ball and spread his arms wide. His body began to emit a blinding radiance, growing brighter and brighter, more and more intense. Goodbye, my friend. Origin's voice resonated through the entire space. The next second, he transformed into a massive pillar of golden light and surged into the crystal ball. A colossal amount of energy erupted from within the crystal ball, forming a golden barrier that expanded rapidly in all directions. Wherever the golden barrier swept across, the rifts in the sky began to slowly heal. The distorted buildings reverted to their original forms, and the digital humans turned into countless points of light, returning into the crystal ball. The entire world was slowly returning to normal. Su Yao and I held each other tightly, watching this miraculous scene unfold before our eyes. Who knows how much time passed, but the golden light finally dissipated. The crystal ball regained its tranquility, quietly hovering at the center of the hall. Origin was gone. He had used his own life to save both worlds. I walked up to the crystal ball, extending my hand to gently stroke its cold crystal surface. Su Yao walked over to my side and grabbed my hand. It's okay, I'm here. I nodded my head. Right at that moment, the crystal ball suddenly flickered for a second, and the faint voice of a teenage boy echoed inside my mind. Chung Yen, I haven't disappeared yet. I have just become the boundary itself. From now on, I will protect these two worlds forever. I froze, and immediately a smile appeared on my face. Yes, he didn't disappear. He just chose another way to continue existing. Su Yao and I walked hand in hand out of the abandoned laboratory of Genesis Biotech. The sky outside had already returned to a deep blue. The sunlight was bright, and the air was fresh. Although the people on the streets were still a bit shaken up, smiles of relief after surviving a catastrophe appeared on their faces. Everything was over, but I knew this wasn't the end. Origin had become the boundary, protecting both worlds, while Su Yao and I also had a brand new mission. We were going to become the bridge connecting the two worlds, giving the consciousnesses inside the data world a chance to experience the beauty of the real world too. We wanted everyone to know that whether it's a life from the real world or a life from the virtual world, they all deserve to be respected, and they all deserve to be loved. Because as long as you possess consciousness, possess feelings, and possess something you want to protect, then that is a true existence.